I didn't expect to hear that one of the biggest craft brewers in the U.S. was a Canadian cannabis company. Why is a weed company selling me alcohol? Well, the cannabis business is hard, and when it's legal in the state but not in the country, it's tough to grow and make money. You can't operate in one state and do business in another without setting up a whole other company just for that state. So one company, Tilray, a Canadian cannabis company actually, that can't hop the border into the U.S. without being kicked off the NASDAQ and losing all that sweet, sweet investor money, is still trying to set itself up for legalization in the U.S. when that happens. Their numbers aren't looking too bad. Cannabis sales are up 35%. It's got a distribution business in Germany that's going to be looking really good if they decide to legalize. But it's the biggest surprise is that alcohol, not cannabis, is the biggest driver of growth for the company. So what? You're not getting enough money from marijuana, so you're just going to turn your back on it? Well, it turns out that cannabis beverages just might be the wave of the future. They're saying the category is growing something like 50% a year, just bonkers numbers. And it could be worth $19 billion in 4 years. And I know. I've heard the promises like that before, but there's definitely some kind of demand here. Cannabis cocktails have been catching on, and in some places like bars and restaurants, even breweries and distilleries have started serving cannabis drinks. And cannabis mocktails have been a huge trend this dry January. In fact, one dispensary in Massachusetts, Theory Wellness, is opening up a beverage-only dispensary where it'll just be packed with nothing but drinkable marijuana. The national retailer Total Wine & More has even started selling beverages with hemp-derived Delta-8 THC in it, and a national brand getting in on it like that should definitely be telling you something. The world's biggest cannabis drink factory is opening up in LA, and it's partnering with Mary Jones, the cannabis-infused offshoot of the craft soda company Jones Soda out of Seattle. It's all happening, people. It's happening. So maybe with all that going on, it's not such a bad idea to get into the drinks business, right? Tilray can't sell their cannabis in the U.S., but when they bought 8 beer and beverage brands off of Anheuser-Busch, a brewing behemoth, as well as Montauk Brewing and Breckenridge Distillery, they actually became one of the top 5 craft brewers in the United States. And with the appetite for alcohol in the U.S., that's driving something like a quarter of their whole business. But they're thinking ahead. When legalization happens, and it will, they will be able to turn on a dime and have the whole U.S. market at their fingertips, and they'll be able to pump those sippers out like nobody's business. But even if cannabis drinks are the way of the future isn't here yet. Tilray just lost $46 million last year, which is an improvement over the $60 million the year before that. And just like a lot of other cannabis companies, their stock is down over 80%, and they are firmly in the red. Federal prohibition just makes the cost of doing business too high for most companies like Tilray are just trying to hang on until the government comes around and legalizes.